Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Okay, so there we have it. You're a shell of the person you used to be. You've been isolated. You've lost your friends. You've lost your support network. You are lonely. You are desperate. You are confused. You're likely beaten up. Your finances are in ruins. You don't know which end is up. You're living on eggshells. You're scared to death in your own home, the place where you should feel the safest. Now you get away from the narc. You've got the good common sense to do that. Yet you leave the portal open. Why is it so hard to go no contact? I want to talk about that today. First and foremost, do not kick yourself. The narc can do that for you just fine. Do not blame yourself. You are not an idiot. You're not a fool. You're not codependent. You have been through a life-shattering event. You have been through an event that truly changes people at the core of who they are and has the capacity to cause in you a brain injury from the abuse so severe it'll CAT scan like blunt force trauma. None of this is your fault. Now, I've got no problem with people really struggling with no contact, but I do have a problem with people blaming themselves. The aftermath of this abuse will leave a victim so severely disorientated. Give yourself some room to make mistakes, first and foremost. Things are evil, truly evil. They are manipulative, they are cunning, they are covert in their behavior, and they are constantly plotting. You don't stand a chance against them. That's the reality. Trying to outsmart someone with an empath, now injured mind, broken spirit and broken soul, and desperately broken heart is never going to be a match for these cold, calculated, manipulative demons. So you never stood a chance against them. And if they're hoovering you back in, yes, it can be challenging, but here you stand a chance. Not only do you stand a chance, but you can beat them at their own rotten game. Personally went back to my great demise 7 or 8 times over a 5-year period of time. I was out, I was free, I got hoovered back in. Yes, I had no idea what was going on. Absolutely no idea what was going on. In the end, when I finally left, when I finally discarded him once and for all, when I finally went no contact, I truly had no idea about narcissism, but I knew I was worth more than that. My life, my family, my home, my career was worth more than that. And though I didn't know what was happening, I knew that that shit could not happen to me any longer. Now, I do believe I found a couple of methods to help fast track healing. Now, healing your mind, I think, is the first step, because a mind that's healing, even if it's just in the early stages of it, is going to be much, much more useful to you than the mind you may have right now. Now, when your mind is injured, you've been through all the gaslighting, you've got cognitive dissonance, post-traumatic stress disorder. Clearly, you're not thinking right. Because I know today in a much, much clearer state of mind, and the reason my mind is much clearer is because I went no contact 10 months ago. I'm never going back to that piece of shit. It is a done deal. So when I absolutely internalized that it was over, I went no contact, though I didn't have a name for it at the time. I just didn't want the creep reaching out to me. I didn't want to hear its voice. I didn't want to see its nasty face. So I went no contact. And I will tell you, it was the game changer. It really was. It gave me a chance to stop the abuse once and for all, so a healing process could actually begin to take place. Now, I absolutely am grateful to Deb J for finding that information. I do believe the doctor's name was Dr. Rhonda Freeman, neuropsychologist, who has concluded that this insidious form of abuse, narcissistic abuse, causes brain injury. I accept the fact that most definitely all my pistons weren't firing, that's for sure. But getting some space from it, getting in a safer place, cutting off that constant flow of abuse gave my mind a chance to start recovering. Now, part of that recovery, part of that awakening was, well, he was horrible. He was absolutely horrible. Where in a sicker frame of mind, I was thinking thoughts like, was it really that bad? Well, yes, it was that bad. It was worse than that bad. It was fucking horrendous is what it was. It's the type of thing that was causing me to have suicidal thoughts. That's how bad it was. I saw no way out, no future. Ending my life had become a possibility, so I was in a pretty sick frame of mind. But now, 10 months later, no contact, I'm seeing things much more clearly. Do I ever question whether or not it was that bad? I know it was that bad. I know that I made the right choice. So you have to give yourself a little bit of time. Going no contact buys you that time you need to come to a point of clear thinking. You can't expect to make good choices with a fogged mind. Plain and simple, you've got to let your brain heal a little bit. Step back. Other thing too, I was completely disempowered by Trevor over the years, wondering if this discard was the last one. Well, when I decided to dump his sorry ass, the final discard, go no contact, I took my power back. It's one thing to be in such a state of heartache and confusion, but to feel totally helpless, totally out of control regarding a relationship that was truly important to you. Oh God, it was too fucking much. It was too much. The diminishing of me as a person. I was absolutely squashed, flat, gelatinous mass, nothing more. Getting him out of my life, putting my foot down, going no contact, taking the time to heal, made the reality of the situation so much clearer to me. I'm a fan of Mel Robbins, and was a fan of Mel Robbins well before I met Trevor. So quite recently, 6 months ago, I started looking at Mel Robbins' work again and have been trying to put that to practice. Now, she's got this 5-second thing where a bad idea comes into your mind, you interrupt it. The way to interrupt it, as Mel explains, is to count backwards from 5. Just that simple. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The act of counting backwards causes you to refocus away from the bad thought. It gives you that 5-second interval to interrupt that thought. Now, if you look into mind control, as I have, and let me tell you, I've done a lot of research on mind control because I believe absolutely that Trevor had some kind of demonic trance on me. How they mind control us in the first place, how they mind sweep us and take control is through interruptions, conversation interrupters. So you can interrupt your own bad ideas. Now you're having some thoughts and the narc interrupts you, and next thing you know, the things you see aren't real, the things you're hearing you're questioning. Mind interrupters, mind interrupters. This is how they mind control us in the first place. So we can do this in reverse. We can reprogram our own minds. Now, I'm going to put a link to Mel's videos, and I hope you guys take a look at those. I found them to be tremendously helpful. So if I do get a bad idea, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bad idea interrupter, giving me that 5-second window of opportunity to interrupt that bad thought. When Trevor's mask fell off and I saw what he really was, and I became adamant that I was leaving, adamant that I never wanted to see him again, I felt pretty confident in that at first. But let me tell you, there was a tremendous flood of emotions after the pink bubble burst, after I got out of there. And I started to question myself. I had so much lingering post-traumatic stress disorder, so much cognitive dissonance, wondering, was he really as bad as I had perceived? Yes, he was. The thing is never getting better. The thing doesn't have the capacity to love. No, it has zero remorse. The only reason the narc wants you back is, well, first of all, you're a possession in its narc harem, but you have committed the ultimate act of evil against them. You've abandoned them. That memory of abandonment causes such deep, deep resentment in them. They don't want you back to be nice to you. They want you back to finish you off because you got away the first time. You know it and I know it. And I'll tell you, I did a lot of research to figure out if there was a way to love him well. Absolutely, there is not. Absolutely. I've not, in all the time we've been together, heard of one case where getting hoovered back in ended well. People's lives are ruined, often within minutes, hours. You got to go no contact. And I'll tell you, it saved my life. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a great narc-free day.